Today on the WEInvested podcast, we have with us Adara Spruill, and she is the owner and CEO of Simply Adarable Suites. Adara, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing today, Wesley?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining me. And look, before
Oh,
we get started, can you let the people know where they can find you on social media?
on Facebook, you can look me up under Adara Spruill, ADARA SPRUILL, as well on Instagram, Sheer Queen 254, SHEAR Queen 254, and I do have a style seat link, styleseat.com/Adara Spruill.
For sure, for sure. So let's just jump right into it. Like, what is Simply Adarable Suites and how did you get started?
Okay, Simply Adarable Suites is kind of what it sounds like, adorable suites. Um, I started off with a salon, and with COVID going on, I kind of wanted to branch off into suites just so everybody can be safe in their own private room with their clients. It kind of keeps, the germs down and having to interact with other people, because right now it's not a good time to be doing that. So, I opened up the suites. It's open for cosmetology purposes, beauty services. It could be lash techs, nail techs, barbers, masseuse. I just kind of wanted to tailor it around beauty needs.
For sure, for sure. And I think the name is dope too. So it's like kind of like a play on your name mixed in with the business name, right?
Yeah. When I first opened up my first shop, it was Simply Adarable. It wasn't a suite, it was just a regular salon. But I had made a post on Facebook and asked my clients and Facebook friends to kind of come up with the name. And a couple people hit on that. They was like, Simply Adarable. I was like, yeah, that's dope. I like that.
Facts. So, I know your suites are like open for nail techs and lash techs and kind of everything beauty related, but like what services do you offer personally?
I myself, I offer I really specialize in natural hair, so that hasn't had any chemicals on it. It's what they would consider the most difficult hair to deal with, because it's natural, curly, big, tangly. But that's what I specialize in. I do a lot of silk presses, haircuts, sew-ins. I do a little bit of coloring. I make wigs, but I mostly cater to the integrity and health of natural hair.
For sure. So it sounds like you kind of do it all.
Yeah, definitely. I can do it all, but I prefer to specialize in what I'm good at, and that's the natural hair.
For sure, for sure. So I just kind of want to like focus on your story because I think you have a great story and like it shows like a lot of perseverance and that you work really hard to get to where you are today. So, you started out doing hair in your house while attending cosmetology school. So, what was that experience like and around what time frame was that? Like what year was that when you first got started?
Well, I had moved from North Carolina to Texas in about the Christmas of 2014. So right after Christmas in January is when they, registered for school. So that's when I registered for school. I was living with my grandmother at the time because I had moved from North Carolina to Texas to be closer to her. But of course, I just had a little bit of money saved up, so I wasn't able to have my own crib right away. So that was humbling in itself. But yeah, I had enrolled in school, and in school, I mean, I already knew how to do hair, but I needed to get the foundation of hair, like the sanitation part of it and the chemical aspect of it. But uh while I was in school, I had a point where we would get on the floor, and on the floor is when we would actually do styles on people. So I had to like really sell myself to clients coming into the school. I had to kind of like get them to, I'm like, okay, you like how I do your hair here? Do you mind coming to my house, and letting me do it at home, just so I can make some money off of it? Because when you do those services in school, it's free. We don't get any money for that. So, I mean, I had a time, getting clients from the school and getting them to come to my home so I could get the money for it. But yeah, I did that for almost the whole time I was in school. I had a job where I was a CNA worker, and I did it when I was in North Carolina, but in Texas, the people here are kind of different. and I really didn't like it. So I had made a decision in my mind that I was gonna um, become self-employed and just start doing hair as a full-time gig.
For sure. So like you said you made a move from Rocky Mount, North Carolina to Killeen, Texas. So
Yeah.
like how did that move impact your career?
Well, that move, it impacted my career in a very positive way because I mean, I love North Carolina, and I mean, it's in my blood, but I guess the area where I was located at, a lot of people didn't have a lot of money. It wasn't a lot of job opportunities or careers. So everybody was looking for a deal or a free hairdo or a hookup. If they knew you, like, girl, you know me, you need, give me $20 off of this. I don't want to have to discuss my prices with people and lower my prices. But here in Texas, well, where I'm at is a military town, and everybody has really good careers. It's a booming location. So when I moved here, it's just like they accepted me and my skills a lot more than they did in North Carolina. So I of course start charging double what I charge in North Carolina, and they pay it with no questioning, like no side eyes, none of that. So I mean, they show me a lot of support here in Texas, and I mean that's the major difference between North Carolina.
For sure. So like when you first moved out there, was it intimidating? Like were you nervous or did it just fall right into place for you?
I ain't even gonna lie, it fell into place. Like I I felt like I was in a place in North Carolina where I was low, and it was a lot of negative things around me. People getting locked up, people getting killed. I had friends that I felt as though stabbed me in the back. So me moving to Texas was like something positive. So I had a good outlook on it, and I was prepared to like meet new people. I did a lot of like networking where I would just walk up to random people and my card and tell them to like pull me up on social media, look at my work. I mean, I really put myself out there when I got here and let down my guard and just pulled up on people with my card.
For sure. And like that in itself, like just being able to walk up to people and talk to people, that can be like for some people that can be a scary thing. So like what do you think gave you that like bravery to just do it? Like you just said, whatever, I'm gonna just put myself out there.
I think simply because I wasn't from here. Like where I'm from in North Carolina, I knew everybody. So I just, had to try something different here. Whereas everybody knew me where I was from, nobody knew me here. And I wanted to be known here. So in order to be known, you gotta put yourself out there. And I didn't think about, if they were gonna say something negative or if they were gonna reject me. I really didn't care. I was like, I mean, if 50% of them reject me, at least I got 50% that accept my card. I wasn't scared at all.
For sure. And like I think that's something that's really important for people to understand. Is like you have to put yourself out there. You can't be afraid of rejection. Like if you're really chasing your dreams and want to, expand your brand and expand what you're doing.
Definitely, nobody's gonna sell you like you. So I mean, you gotta get out your shell. You have to. There's no other way.
Facts. So, I was reading your post and I like a highlight of it was when you said that you got your first salon. So, how did it feel when you were able to get your first salon?
Now, I'm not gonna lie, like I had got so comfortable with doing hair from home that I kind of got set in it. But at the same time, it wasn't the best thing because you have random people coming in and out of your home. You can't trust everybody. And then it came to a point where I became so popular with doing hair that I had a lot of people in and out my home. And it wasn't the safest thing for my daughter at the time. So I was like, okay, it's time for me to expand and open up a shop. And in the process of opening up a shop, I knew nothing. Like I knew nothing on how to do it, what I needed to do. So when I came across a lady who had posted something on Facebook, in like one of those hair groups, she was saying that she was selling her shop along with all of the things in it. So the price was like banging. I was like, I gotta hit her up. So I hit her up, and I had the money in hand. I looked around and I loved it. And I paid her and I got it. But the thing was, she on her own wrote down everything that I needed to do to get it open. Like, and I was like, look at God. Like, she told me what licenses I needed. She told me what inspection I would need, and what I need to do to stay up to code. So I got lucky in that aspect because she wrote everything down for me, and she said, if I needed any help, I could contact her and she would walk me through it. So with opening it, it wasn't difficult at all. It was just like going through the motions. And when I got it open, and the first day, when I walked in there, and it had my name up there, it was just like a feeling that I can't describe. It was like, it was awesome. I mean, my clients loved it. I took the time to do interviews, to bring in other stylists, and it was just like an incredible journey that really brought me to where I'm at today.
For sure. So it seems like you were doing everything. It's like you got a crash course, but it really like paid off, and you really got a lot of valuable information out of that entire situation.
Definitely, like it taught me what I thought I wanted a salon, and it showed me that that really wasn't what I wanted. Like I thought I wanted to be a team player, whereas I would be on the floor with other stylists and giving them my skills, them giving me their skills, and it kind of didn't play out the way I wanted, because I found a lot out about myself that I'm really not. I'm a people person when it comes to my clients, but when it comes to working with other individuals and having to deal with their personalities and their clients' personalities, it it kind of like opened up my eyes, and I was just like, maybe this isn't what I want.
For sure.
It, yeah, it was just a lot dealing with the different personalities. Cause I'm very professional, and I'm not saying that any of the people that I brought in weren't professional, but they do business differently than I do.
For sure.
And my clients, they really appreciate privacy. And for me to be on the floor doing their hair in front of other stylists and other clients, I don't think they really liked it.
Now, and I think that's like really important for every entrepreneur to like understand kind of their strengths and weaknesses, and what they like, so they can like run their business to their standards.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely gotta. I mean, when you first starting off, you think you may want one thing, and then after you go through something and experience it, you figure out you want something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, is like you can just learn from every situation pretty much. But with that
Definitely.
being said, getting your first shop, like the highs wouldn't feel as good if it wasn't for the lows pretty much. So, in your post I saw that you had on social media, you said that you had to downgrade your shop and move back into a suite. So, what was that experience like, and what kept you motivated to keep striving for more?
Okay. Well, I had found out that I was pregnant, and the location of my first shop, it wasn't in the best neighborhood. Like, we had instances where it was a shelter maybe 2 streets over from my, so I had a lot of homeless people wandering in the area. They would wander by my door, look through the windows. I had clients that felt uncomfortable. So I was just like, Adara, this location is not the best. Now the building was huge. Like, it was the perfect size for what I wanted to do, but it was just the location. It wasn't working. And with me being pregnant, I felt as though I felt helpless. Like, if something happened, like, I can't defend myself. So I had to downgrade to a suite. Now, with me downgrading to a suite, it was kind of like a test trial. Because in my mind, I knew the type of person I am, I'm not one to work up under somebody. I had already opened up my own shop. So everybody else probably would have looked at it like I was downgrading, but really I was going through an experience. Like, I had to go into a suite and see how it was, how it works, um, how it is for my clients or whatnot, bef- before I could think about opening up my own. So with me doing that for a year, I did it for a year straight, like 365 days. And I was like, okay, I like this. It's the privacy. I mean, it's other stylists in there, but they're in their own room. You're able to close the door, interact with your client without other people being all in your face. And the only thing about where I was at was we had a common area, which was the shampoo area, where I would have to shampoo my client around other stylists and their clients. So I was like, taking notes in my mind mentally, like, okay, if I were to open up my own suites, I would want everything in the room. So, it's no interaction with other people besides leaving out the door. But yeah, I mean, that experience, I really enjoyed it because the person that I rented the suite from was very professional. And to be honest, like, I didn't want to copy her, but I definitely took a lot of the aspects of her business and put it into mine, because everything about her business was professional. And I was like, I'm gonna tweak it to where it is convenient for me in my business. So I definitely learned a lot from that, from having to rent out a suite. And I mean, I didn't explain nothing to my clients. I let people assume what they wanted to assume. So if they assume like, oh, Adara, she must, her money must be low, or dang, she had to downgrade. I really didn't care what other people thought because I already had a plan and what I wanted to do.
For sure. And I think that's like what all the greats do. Like, one, they have a plan, and two, they find somebody that's doing, what they want to do or something similar to what they want to do, and then they just kind of study it and, like you said, tweak it and put your own spin on it to make it yours.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So now you've just opened and launched Simply Adarable Suites. But before you got the chance to really launch it, you had to do some work. So what was that process like for finding your shop location and getting it renovated?
All right. Well, uh, I looked around for a space, and I really like wasn't seeing anything that I wanted. Like, I had the image in my head that I wanted, separate rooms for the people that I bring in. So the funny thing is, I was in the plaza where I worked at when I was in the particular suite, and I noticed that there was it was a opening for another spot right in the same plaza. So I checked it out or whatever, and I filled out the application, and I was approved. So I was like, okay. It was a tattoo shop at the moment, and it had one wall in it. We knocked that wall down, and when we went in there, it was just an open space. So I was like telling my fiance, like, we have an open space, like we have so many opportunities, like we can do anything. And the thing about it is, he was the one who built everything, and I had to kind of believe in him, because I mean, we've been together for about 3 years, but I really didn't know his strengths when it came to construction type work. And he really like wowed me how he was able to put all the walls in. Like, I'm talking about, we had 2x4s in there, put the walls up, we did the plumbing, we did the electrical, the painting, the flooring. And surprisingly, when I brought my clients in, they just knew that we worked on that for like 6 months. That was a 6-week job that we did, like building that those suites up. We did it very quickly, and I was just like blown away by the finished part of it. Like, I was just like, wow, like we really did this. We really built it up and did this on our own. Like, we didn't bring in a company. We didn't bring in anybody besides his dad. And I mean, he had a little bit of help with lifting and stuff like that. But the brainstorming part of it, writing it down, like we did all that.
For sure, man. And that's like what I think that's I think the thing that I admire the most, like looking at it, because I see that you've like never been afraid to invest in yourself. Like, you've never been afraid to go out and buy real estate or rent out a space or do anything like that. And so that was like one of the first things that opened my eyes up to make me see like, I mean, it's really serious, and like it's really could be big. And then especially when I saw that you were adding in the suites. So now to bring in other people that can now bring in some passive income. So just in case you're not working, you don't feel like working, you don't always have to be there to make money. You can just get paid off the asset that you own. So I mean, like, what was the thought process behind the suites? Like, how did it feel? And I think I just recently saw that you got more people in there now to rent out spaces. So like, how did that feel when you got in those people to rent out your suites just like you planned out?
Man, it was like it was God, Wesley. Like, I can't lie, it was God, because okay, of course we got it built up, and I had got up in there and I was working. in there for maybe about 2 or 3 weeks. I was working in there by myself. And I had my clients asking me, when you gonna bring somebody in? And I mean, we opened up around Christmas. So I'm like, well, it's a lot going on, you guys. So I'm not really pressuring trying to look for tenants. If they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. Either way, this is my building. I'm happy that I own it. So it just like gradually, like I had put something up on Facebook, like on Marketplace, advertising it, like saying that we had open spaces for tenants. And like they just start coming, like messaging me, wanting to come see it. And like I literally just got my second lease signed by my, because I got three, one for me and I had two extra ones, and I just got that lease signed. So I'm full, like I'm completely full. But it's like it's a great feeling because right now I'm not working. Like I can't work right now. I can't work for like the next 4 weeks. I just had surgery, and I'm not able to go to work. So with them being in there and leasing out those spaces, they're paying my bills. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole point of this, is to be able to, if anything happens, kick my feet up and I'm still making money without doing anything. So I mean,
Exactly.
point.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the American dream, like free bands, literally. So, I mean, before you got it started, or while it was in the process of being built, like, was it ever a time of like, oh man, I'm nervous. I don't know if this is gonna work out, or did you always have like faith in your plan? Like, nah, this is gonna be big.
I always had faith in it, but I definitely doubted myself sometimes because I'm a hard critic on myself. So when we built the suites up, it's like I wanted them so high class and fancy that nobody would want to turn them down. So I don't even know why I was worried, because as soon as people came in there and they looked at them themselves and looked at the size of them, which that's what brings most people in. Call my brother. The size is what kind of wows them, because the suite I was in was like micro. I mean, she had a building, she was able to put four in there. So my building was the same size as hers, but we only did three. And I did that for a reason, because I felt as though it's going to make it more attractive, or it's going to make them want it more because it's more space. So when it comes time to lease it out, when they come and see it, they're going to be like, wow, like this is huge. I'm telling you, as soon as they came in there and looked at it, they was ready to sign the lease and it was a wrap. So I mean, I doubted myself some because I didn't know if, like, would they feel like this is good enough? Would they feel like this location is okay? Would they be feeling my vibe? But the two tenants that I brought in, they signed their 6 month to 1 year lease, and obviously, they're ready for the ride. They're ready to join my team.
For sure, for sure. So, how is it being a full-time mom and running a successful business, and, getting your location built out and renovated, and, how is it juggling these things?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it was very trying. Like with my daughter, she is 10 years old, so she's at that age now where she can pretty much watch herself. Like she's very independent, very mature. But then here comes the new baby. We got a whole brand new baby. He's not even one yet. And that was where it became a challenge, because with coronavirus going on, he's not in daycare. So, I mean, it was a lot of long nights of us up there building up them suites. I'm talking about working from 8 o'clock in the morning until about 11 o'clock at night with him right there. And I mean, legally, that shouldn't have happened like that, but we had to do what we had to do. The baby would be right there on his blanket, watching his dad hammer something into the wall. Like, we literally had to juggle the kids and building up that shop by ourselves. I mean, I'm just glad that we made it through, but it really was not easy. I'm telling you, it was difficult when it comes to a new baby.
For sure, for sure. So, did you always have a entrepreneurial spirit, or is this something that kind of developed over time as you got older?
Um, yeah, I feel like I always had an entrepreneurial spirit because, I mean, I started doing hair when I was about 17, 16 or 17. I was doing my friend's hair, And I mean, I've always been crafty where I can make things. And, I know when I was in high school, I made a painting for one of my mom's clients, and, they paid me good money for it. So I always been able to kind of like make money for myself with my skills. But it took me trying to move. When I was living in North Carolina, I was trying to move into a better apartment, and I needed a deposit. So I ran like a hair special. Like I was doing like $25 quick weaves, $50 braids. And I did, I did so many heads in one day that I stacked up that money to where I needed to be. And I was just like, dang, like this is crazy. Maybe, I need to start doing hair because the money is good. But yeah, I definitely feel as though I always had that in me.
For sure, for sure. So like, you have a great online presence, like from your social media. Yeah, you have a great online presence from your social media, to your style seat page. And it's like you're really, really good on Facebook, looking for opportunities from, Facebook hair groups to just looking for new investment opportunities. So how has how has social media helped to expand your business?
Social media has helped a lot because, say for instance, if you're not from somewhere and you're trying to get yourself out there, that's the best platform. Like I joined about 10 groups here in this area, and each group had about maybe about 5,000 people in it. One had 10,000 people in it. One had about 15,000 people in it. So just imagine if that group has all that many people in it in that area, and you post your work up there, and you post your business link, and there, even if they don't, click it, they see it, it's always going to be there. I just feel as though, why not use social media? I mean, it's just a great platform to reach people that you don't know.
For sure, for sure. And so like you kind of talk about too, how your fiance like helped you renovate your new building to get everything together and just to kind of get things started. So what's the importance of having a good team, and how did you like focus on building your team from like interviewing the other leasers or leases in your building? Like how did you go about building your team?
Well, I kind of look at myself and the qualities that I have in myself, and then I know moving forward, I want people who are going to be around me to be like me. Like they may not be just like me, but I want them to have the qualities and the drive and the work ethics that I have. So with me interviewing people, like, I mean, I was impressed to get anybody in there. So I mean, I could have easily got anybody up in there, but that wasn't what I wanted to do. I definitely wanted people who are like-minded, like myself, who were about their bread, about their business, drama free. You definitely want your team to be, like you, with your mind frame. Because if you, it just takes one person to come in there and mess everything up. And I mean, in an interview, it's hard for you to kind of feel a person out by meeting them one time. So I myself will go on their social media, see what they post, see what they talk about, see who they're interacting with, see who they're friends with on Facebook, to kind of get a feel of their personality. And I mean, the interview, it goes beyond sitting down, talking to them in person. You kind of got to look at their social media to fill them out.
For sure, for sure. So, are there any like business mistakes that you made early on, that you can recall that would possibly like help somebody else out or help somebody kind of avoid and not make those same mistakes or hit those same potholes?
Yeah, like with my first salon, I probably really should have wrote more things down and kept better track of all my bills and stuff. Like I kind of just went with the flow with that first job and try to memorize everything in my head. Like it's better if you just write everything down. If you see it, then it'll make more sense and you're able to be more organized. Like even if you gotta bring in a tax preparer or somebody who can do the numbers for you, but don't like take all that stuff on your plate, yourself, without being organized. Or it's gonna be your light's gonna be cut off one day and your water the next. You just gotta really be organized.
Right, right. For sure. So, what would you say is like your favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
Well, my favorite part about being an entrepreneur is the fact that you can make your own schedule. Like, I mean, I go hard 365, but it may be a time period where I want to take off 2 weeks for work. And you can do that because you make your own schedule. Like, and then it's the money. Like, you can make as much money as you want, or, as least money as you want. Like, I myself, since I had my baby, I changed my hours. I used to work 9 to 5, shoot, 9 to 7 some days. I changed my hours to where I work 9 to 2, and I'm off on Sundays. Like, that's awesome. Like, how many people can go to work at 9, get off at 2, and still making the same amount of money they was making when they worked 9 to 5? I started to work smarter, not harder. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So
For sure. So, what would you say is the single most important reason for your success?
I could say that I would have to say God, because I mean, without him, I really wouldn't have anything. And I just was like faithful to him. I prayed, I asked him to show me the way, because I didn't have any type of business background or anything. And I can honestly say, God, like, every single time I went through something or I felt as though I couldn't do it, I prayed and he like showed me the way. Every single time, Wesley, and that's no lie right there. I had to give it all to God.
Facts, facts. So, can you recall a time, like a critical moment of your business journey? So, like a fight or flight kind of moment.
I guess when I was in my first shop and everything just seemed to be kind of crumbling around me, like the building, the AC had went out. Um, I had issues with the electrical, the plumbing was acting up, and the owner of that particular building wasn't really like trying to help me. So, I mean, I just had to make a conscious decision that, okay, it's time for you to move on. You got to try something else. I had put my pride to the side, downgrade, and go into that suite. But I knew if I did that for a year and I got the feel of it, that, I would be able to save up and, put that money towards my real dream, which was opening up the suites that I have right now.
For sure. So, who do you look up to for inspiration and why?
I look up to my mom. I really do. I look up to her a lot. Like, she's into the hair thing. She makes organic hair products, and I have always looked up to her because she's a hustler, and like she taught me how to be a hustler. Like, my mom, she has a disability, so I've always had to be independent, just because I had to, learn to take care of myself and as well help take care of her. But I would have to say I really look up to her. She just, for her to be disabled, she never let anything stop her. And my mom, she has a bachelor's degree in gerontology. I mean, she just was a beast. And I was like, if my mom can do it, I know I can do it. You know what I mean? Like, so I definitely look up to my mom.
For sure, for sure. So, how do you define success as an entrepreneur?
Success as an entrepreneur is when you can sit back and kick your feet up and not have to do any type of labor or work and you're still making money. To me, that's success.
Facts, facts. So, how would you like for people to remember you and your company?
I would like for people to remember me and my company just for, like, on a positive aspect of hair. Like, I'm all for healthy hair and professionalism. I just want to be remembered for that, for being that stylist that cared about her client's hair. Like, I'm not one to follow the trends. All these girls, they're doing the wigs and frontals now, and they don't even wear their own hair anymore. I'm that stylist that wants you to drop the glue, drop the wig. Come on, let me hook your hair up. Let me cut your ends. Let's get your hair where it needs to be. I want to be remembered for that, for caring for a client's real hair.
For sure. So, what do you want the future of Simply Adarable Suites to look like?
Honestly, I want it to be like, even if it's statewide, I do want different locations. So I want different suites. Maybe one suite that caters to cosmetology, maybe one suite that caters to nails, one suite that caters to barbers. I really want to expand. And with me doing this first week and us putting the work into it, I mean, it was hard, but I definitely think that we could do it again in another location. Why not?
For sure, for sure. It's been a look. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I've learned a lot. But before we go, at the end of every episode, I like to play a rapid fire question game. So if you're up for that, I'll just ask you
Oh,
three quick questions.
all right. Sounds good.
All right. Question number one: where's your favorite place to travel?
My favorite place to travel, I would have to say, is California
California. Why is that?
because it's lit. The weather's good. It's a lot to do, and weed is legalized.
Facts. All right. Question number two: what song explains your life the most?
um, Boy, really, uh, that's hard right there, Wesley. I don't know.
It's all good. I know I put you on the spot.
You did.
All right. Question number three, and the last one. What's an amazing thing that you did that no one was around to see?
um, Well, I mean, I have different family members that they go through things or whatnot, and I may send them money or whatnot to help towards their bills. I mean, okay, this is real random. It was a girl on Facebook. She posted in a group saying that she didn't have any gas to get to work or whatever. I didn't know her. She didn't know me. I just I asked her what her cash app was, and I cashed out her $30 just so she could have gas to get to work.
Man, that's dope, man. That's dope. Adara, thank you so much for your time. And man, I can't wait to see Simply Adarable Suites grow. And I just look forward to your success.
I really appreciate it, Wesley. Thank you for having me, and I enjoyed this interview.